Welcome to Caching Waves. This is your Elliott Wave update for MANTA. Now, just for full disclosure, if you're following along my previous videos, I've closed my long. I closed it just shy of the 2.236 at the fifth wave impulse target region. So out on that, if you remember, we got in right up here between the 50 and the 618. Stop at that high. So that worked out. Now looking at the current structure, I need to reanalyze things a little bit here. This is how I originally had it labeled, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense, just the extension here, similar to flare. What I think is actually happening now that I look at these extensions, I just want to see this one too. Just doing this in real time for you so you can see how it's done. That fits best as an impulse, so that's 5 waves. Just gonna get rid of that for a second. That's 5 waves. That can be 3 or 5. 2, 3. No overlap. Not the shortest for the third. Could also be a diagonal. It's just such small time frames. It's very difficult to judge. Yeah, I'd count that this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an extension. Sorry, getting a little bit distracted here. So just going off this chart, if you remember the original entry, we had a spike over here. It's just not on this chart. And then we had this diagonal, which is why we took that trade to begin with. And I'm trying to decide whether or not this chart is going to keep selling off and make new lows, or if we're actually going to get some recovery on this. Looking at this chart, I would put this as an ABC from the high, because it's 5 waves, ABC. And this looks like 3 waves as well. Let me pull those extensions if we have that from here. Yeah, most likely similar. So if this is 5 waves, that'd be an ABC as well. As you can see, where does that line us up with extensions? Between the 618 and the 1-to-1. There's no way it can be flat. Okay, so similar to flare here. So if this is complete, we're at the 618. We actually went through it. On linear, we're almost at the 786. Just wish there's more price history, but that's all we got. It's not the nicest looking impulse. Let me go down to the 5-minute. Is there an impulse there? 2. Not really. Looks corrective more than anything. 1.236. 382. Right at the 1.236 at the halfway mark. Just pay attention to the length. Like, that's pretty much equal. There's not a lot of separation for a third wave. This does not look quite complete. That was quite a sell-off. Very difficult spot. So what I would consider this is either complete as a WXY. But again, we came up shy of that 1-to-1. Same issues on most other things at the moment. So if we are complete, it would be here as a WXY. If we're coming to the downside, this is most likely still in the middle of a diagonal. Just because we came so deep, the shape isn't correct. So this would most likely be, if we're still bearish, a 1, 2, 3. Working on a 4th, looking for a 5th wave to the downside. And that would be an A wave. to the downside. Let me check that again. Just a reminder, I usually target the 618 and the 786 in log scale for a diagonal. Let me get rid of this. Yep, ticked right in that area. We expect not to come past the 618 on this one, on this last leg, if that's a diagonal. So anything past 290 is going to switch probabilities, so we're right at that level. So this could turn into a triangle. It could turn into a running flat before coming down for this fifth. But our target here, if our pivot is in, if this is just a 3-wave, would be between the 618 and the 786 of this extension. So where would that take us? If we fall right now, it would get us close between 234 and 244. We come down in 3 waves. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And then we can consider a bit larger correction to the upside. So it's pretty ugly, as you can see. It doesn't really fit an impulse to the downside anymore, but at least we got our trade correct. But at this moment, I'm going to stay sidelined on this. I see either another ABC to the downside, which is halfway through, finding potential pivot to the upside between 234 and 244, or this is a WXY complete, which is not my primary, like so. WXY, because we didn't hit that 1-to-1 extension, which is at around 238. No, linear's even further away. So yeah, looking for this to come down between around 234 and 244. The 1-to-1 extension is at 238. Yeah, I'm not interested at this moment. I would need to see more of price action here. At least break the 618 of this last wave down that I have marked as a 3rd wave before I'd consider a pivot potentially in where we're going to the upside. And that doesn't quite look impulsive at the moment. So perhaps if we are moving to the upside, we make some sort of diagonal. But there's just not enough to go off of here, guys, on Manta. I wish we had a better bottoming pattern. We didn't come to that 1-to-1 extension, so overall not looking the greatest at the moment. Wish I had a more clear outlook for you, but at the moment, looking for this 5-wave to pan out or break this 618 up here and potentially this B wave before considering this complete. Just need more price action to really lean in anything here on account. All right, guys, that's it for Manta. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.